Good morning, guys. Hope you're doing well. I've got Stuart here next to me, and
Coffee's ready, coffee's boiled.
coffee's well. We really needed this morning because we didn't fall asleep till 6 a.m. This morning due to our jet lag from overseas. But we're bright and chirpy and doing our best. I think we might be going back to bed in an hour because all the kids are still asleep and they've also been jet lagged. So that's some of the drawbacks from traveling. But what are you going to do? Excellent. So just please ignore some of the beeps that will be happening in the background. I did want to keep the Facebook page up of Ultimate Business Support because I wanted to talk through a couple of things in the introduction around introducing the new members into the group to make sure that they know how to navigate and find things within the group. And later on, I might just show you guys where the events are going to be happening if you want to catch up live with us at some stage during July.
The events, the groups are so powerful, Facebook groups, and you see the movement away from the business pages that so many people have had, and so many people actually hung their hat on a few years ago. So groups are really now where it's all going to, as many of us know, because of the reach and the interaction that you can actually get in groups on becoming the go-to person, or whether you're in the groups to support, to get support, or whether you're actually there to be positioning yourself as the expert as well.
Yeah, cool. But before we keep going on, I do want to say hello and just make sure that you guys can hear us and you know how to use the question box within which you can put in a quick hello. So there's a few of you on the call this morning. So can one of you or more than one tell us maybe where you're from and you know what's the weather like where you are? Let's see who we have here. I've got Jane, who is from Sydney. Just trying to work out. And Marie, I think you're from Adelaide.
I don't know where
Yeah.
Peter's from.
Hey, Ray. Ray's there. And there's also Tara and Terry. We met Terry recently. I'm from Melbourne. Awesome. Awesome. Perfect. So the question box is there for you to put out any questions on anything that we are saying, any questions that you might have around even your business. As we said, we want to use these coffee chats on Monday mornings quite casually to welcome new members, but also to mastermind any topic or any question you may have for us, or maybe from fellow members of the group, because we're going to be posting up these calls. We are recording because I know a lot of people this was very short notice. We only announced it yesterday. Yeah, gosh, I think it was nearly
11 o'clock or something,
late
10 or 11.
10 or 11 o'clock last night because we were up with our jet lag and we decided to do this from overseas, but got late to get it organized. So we will post up the recordings, and if you do miss one, you can always catch it. And I thought we'd keep it to half an hour. It's nice and short, and you can achieve quite a lot in half an hour. Anything with a deadline, you can actually achieve quite a lot with. So that's fantastic. And Tara's just said I'm from Torquay. I think we've had a chat before, Tara. Thanks so much. Okay, so do you want to give them a quick rundown of the group rules and how to use it best, Stuart? What's your opinion?
Yep. So, well, I've always been a big advocate with the Facebook groups of the more you put in, the more you're going to get out of the groups. That's one of the biggest things. Look, everyone's got a different personality, so therefore the way that they use the groups will vary. To me, it's about being interactive. It's about sharing, asking questions, or it's about sharing expertise. We were one of the first groups ever that I've seen that actually did set up theme days. We did this because it enabled people, it gave them a voice, it gave them something to know when they were able to, what they could post and how they would be able to interact in the group, because it can be quite daunting just to come on without any sort of structure around it. So yeah, with the three children, being parents ourselves, we know that structure is so important. So to give people that structure and saying, okay, so on this day you can post anything along about this. So say networking day today. So that can be any events that you're running, can be any might want to network with a certain group of people. Wednesday's video day. So Wednesday you can actually post a video on any topic that might be relevant to your industry. It might be some information about something that you believe in, might be your own video. We always encourage people to do their own video to enable others in the group to see a little bit about them and get to learn a little bit more. You get to learn so much more about someone when you see them on video. Their real personality can shine through.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just following the groups, and we've always said and always had an open thing. If you're any day that you want to ask a question or you want to ask advice, you don't have to wait for a theme day. You can really just put that question up at any time, isn't that right?
Yeah, correct. And it is ultimately about building relationships and building them over a long term and doing your best to catch up with people online and offline. Obviously, online, like we're doing now virtually, because not everyone is from Melbourne that's on the call today. But specifically, we've started running the offline events where we catch up face to face, and we'll mention those towards the end. But Sydney's about to launch now in mid July, and then we've got Adelaide and Melbourne, and Melbourne's been going over 2 years because obviously we're based here. That's where we began. So we began this group, for those of you that are brand new and listening to this to us for the very first time. It started about March, just over 2 years ago. So and it's been going very strong that way. Perfect. Basically, we delete any posts that are self-promoting on any day bar Tuesday. So if anyone posts, we do our best to administrate the group, and so to make sure that we are being fair to everybody. One thing that I think doesn't work is when people and I see a lot of people don't interact with it, but when people post up external links on some of the days, I feel that you will get a lot more traction. Say, for example, if you're posting a video, to actually post it up directly on the page rather than, say, sharing a YouTube video, because I don't think actually Facebook shows those particular videos to as many people as it would if it was directly posted within the group. And as Stuart said, he do do interact, do catch up, and make the most out of it, because your business fan page is likely to give you a lot less traction than, say, a community page. And that's what I would call it. This is a community page rather than a one-way conversation, which is what I find the Facebook pages to be.
Yeah, it's been interesting. We've seen, and because it's something that we've needed to look after and make sure that we're aware of what's going on in the group all of the time. I've seen people that have been consistently users of the group and consistently posting relevant information, always sharing, always adding value, and doing it over a long period of time. They've really become known within the group, and not only are they start to get business out of it, but they actually start getting opportunities because there are others in the group that might host their own networking groups or might be looking for speakers or experts in the field. And that's a way that it really helps people to build their profile. Whereas if you're just in there once a week, once every 2 weeks, and all you're doing is posting a link to your business, or these people from the MLMs just going in and, hey, you want to earn some more money, join my team, without any further information, it really does make it exceedingly. It gets other people. We get the angry inbox messages saying this person's ruining your group. They're bringing the integrity down by posting da 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 da. And it's not that Nat and I can monitor this group all of the time. We have other people as well. We've got VAs. We've got people externally that go through, and they've got guidelines of what they need to delete and what they need to make sure that they remove to keep the group integral as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, and also the expectation that the group doesn't work when people are not taking up, say, your hot deal, for example, which is the Tuesday topic. Well, if you only turn up on a Tuesday to put up a promotional offer, I would say most likely 99% of the time it won't be taken up unless you have started building a relationship with the members, and you've been adding value to the group throughout the other days, so they get to know you, so they're more familiar with your name popping up and liking some of the stuff that you're
Yeah,
posting.
for sure.
Yeah, cool. So that was about 10 minutes on that, and usually, I mean, this is our very first one, so we are going to do this a little bit shorter next time for 5 minutes, and going through some of the rules. But just for this very first one, we thought we'd spend a little bit more time. Ray's just posted, I'm interested in group mentoring. Can you explain to me what specifically, Ray? I mean, do you mean, are you looking for group mentoring groups, or something like what we're doing now? We'll give you a little bit of mentoring. You could ask people within the call for any opinion or answers to some of your questions, or challenges that you're having within your business. So this is a free portal that you guys will be able to use. Also, the reason Stuart and I are here together today is because we wanted to obviously kick this off together, but we decided that we would alternate the Mondays, that I would be on one Monday and he would be on another, because we also have, our children, luckily at the moment, are all asleep and jet lagged, but normally they wouldn't be asleep. So the next thing I thought was, maybe I promised in the post here, as you would see, that from the time we got home, that I would impart an insight on how I made $57,000 in 36 hours from getting home after spending 5 weeks in Europe and not working on my business. And so maybe what I can do is actually give you a few insights around how that happened, and that way you can post up any questions if you have around that, but you're more than welcome now to start posting any mastermind type questions that you may want a specific answer for yourself, or to ask the other people from the group. So Ray's just okay. So Ray's just said, I'm looking to join a small ongoing group that may meet face to face sometimes. Okay. And are you looking for like a specific format that it is business mentoring, Ray, or almost like a networking
Mastermind.
mastermind, no, networking group? Yeah, that's what I'm curious, because we as a UBS community do meet face to face once a month for 10 months out of the year, February through to November. Yep. And so that could be a community you can be more active in, or if it's more of a mastermind specifically run by someone, it's a paid thing, then maybe someone who is part of that within the group that listens to this recording can contact you. If you want to, if anyone who's listening to this call has that, connect with me or Stuart, and we can pass that on to Ray. Terry says, publishing prices of your programs on your website, yes or no? Okay. Well, what does everyone else think on the call? What do you think, Stuart? Publishing prices of your programs on your website?
What your avatar wants. That's the biggest thing I always say to people. So some people, it's really, you're going to get a 50-50 response to people. You get some that say, if you don't put prices on your website, then you're hiding something. Other schools of thought is, well, if you build enough value and you make the why big enough and why people should be using your products or contacting you, then you don't have them on there, because it doesn't matter what the price is going to be in the end. So you will get a 50-50 thought when you ask around what to do. If you have prices on, what it does is it automatically will eliminate and exclude the people that can't afford your services. What we call the tire kickers. So you might find that you're not wasting as much time taking inquiries from people that can't afford your product or service.
Yeah.
And others will say, well, especially if you're selling a high end program, if you put the price up there and you haven't been able to have a conversation with these people, build the relationship with them, then just a price is going to put a lot of people off. That if they understood more about what they're actually getting from the value. And
Yeah.
we don't have prices on our website for our program, because we have a qualification clause in there as well. We do need to speak to people first of all, one, to make sure that they're suitable, but to also then qualify them for what it is, because the high-end retreat that we run for the authoring certainly does need to have a conversation on there. So if a price just goes up there, people really can't understand what they would be getting.
Yeah, and they just judge it on, I guess, very superficially, and they don't have that relationship with us. So, in that particular case, I strongly feel that I always need to speak to people, even when they email me and say, "What does it cost?" I still say, "We discussed the costs once. I've qualified you, and I'll take you through all of that." And it's something that needs to be explained rather than just blurted out, because you don't get the whole program, because there's just so much within it.
And another thing you could do is you could do a 1 month test and measure on both ways. 1 month, have it on your
Yeah,
website with the prices. The next month, have it on without your prices and just see if it makes a difference.
yeah,
You got to do your
true.
classic A/B split testing.
Cool. So Ray's said she's after a mastermind group. You're welcome, Terry. She's yes. So if anyone is part of a mastermind group, and I think Ray, you said you were in Melbourne, so that meets occasionally in Melbourne. Then can you contact us and let us know, and we can connect with Ray. I did run a mastermind group, but I'm not doing that anymore, because there's just other things that I've been focusing on. The one thing that Stuart and I actually transitioned into is power mentoring, which we see a handful of people, and we do like 15-minute sessions every week to give them a kick up the butt and get them moving. Awesome.
Yeah, biggest thing is just very quickly, if you are looking for a mastermind group, make sure that the people in the group are at a level that's going to bring something to the table. Um,
Yes.
if it's not paid, so if you're all just getting together, you want to ideally you want to have people with exceptionally high skills in a certain area, but may not quite have the business growth yet, because otherwise, if they're going to be an industry leader or a market leader or getting exceptional results, they're generally not going to be doing something like that for free. They're going to be running it and they're going to be there mentoring you. Whereas a
Yeah.
mastermind group, you might have someone that's an expert at marketing, but maybe that they're not great at relationship building, whereas you might have that skill. So you get together and bring the thing that you're good at, and then learn from the other people in the group to
Mm.
then improve all of your businesses. Whereas if you want someone there to be really more telling you what to do and how you should be doing it,
Mm.
that's more something that you're going to be looking at trying to find someone that's going to be charging for that
I think
service.
a mastermind group ultimately, perhaps even always, needs to have some kind of a commitment or payment from its members, in order for it to work really well. And really, you need to find the people that are really committed and going to stick it out at least, for 12 months, to see the real value from it, so you guys can get to know each other. And that, yeah, there's a variety of skill sets around, to add value to that group. And there's people that are ahead of you, and there's people that are behind you.
Yep.
So they're different stages of their business growth. Cool. Excellent. So any more questions, please post them up. Well, how did we make $57,000 in the first 36 hours of getting home? Well, look, guys, I mean, there's no real, yeah, this was the magic formula. And we've talked about this from the beginning of this call. Relationship building. Relationship building has been the core key ingredient as to how I've built my business over the last, over 5 years now, 5 years and 2 months. And basically, I invest in a lot of time in connecting with people. I mean, what we're doing today is part of what I do all of the time, whether I'm networking at someone else's networking event, whether I've started to build my own community like UBS. Has over 2 years ago. We're connecting through a portal now to catch up and have a conversation together, and impart you with some gold nuggets and some wisdom, and let you interact with each other and support that. I mean, to really, really build a business, I think relationships are the key, because when people know you, like you, and trust you, they will buy from you. So I had 4 sales happen in those 36 hours, and you guys know just from before that what we do through the authoring retreats is a high-end program. and therefore it does need for people to really know us, like us, and trust us to say, hey, I'm going to invest in this and come and do this retreat with you. So I had some people connect with me over the time that we were overseas. That I had been. I mean, one particular person I met 2 years ago. We just caught up for coffee, and then time and time again we ran into each other. We continued to get to know each other. Basically, absolutely no obligation to do anything at all. But I'm always making sure that people have awareness of what I've got to offer. And I had an email from this particular person a couple of weeks ago overseas, and I said, "Hey, let's have a chat." When I come home, and had the conversation last night, and that uh, ended up into a sale, into a retreat. Another couple of people that I met 3 or 4 months ago in another state, similar thing occurred with them. And basically, these things don't happen in an instant. It's not like, hey, I just put up this ad and I made $57,000.
It's not, but also one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we explained is, although Nat and I are different people, and she did love to stay connected on a lot of personal things on the group. I chose to really make sure that I had a time away to recharge and everything like that. But what I also did was, because I'm in charge of all of our marketing and our communications and everything like that, that we automated a lot of things. So we made sure that we were still in communication through our emails that go out, that
Yes.
we were still letting people know about price increases, about offers, about things that were coming up. And that can all be done through your customer relationship management tool. You can choose to spend half an hour every second day, like I did, whatever it might be, because
Yeah.
that was the thing, that even though it was a total break and a total switch off, the business is still running along in the background. And that's what you want to make sure that you've got in place yourself. Because so many business owners, Nat, and they tell us, I can't take a day away from the business. It's me, and if I stop, then the business totally stops. But it's
Yes.
having faith in yourself that you've got these things in place, that you've learned from somebody how to do it, and that you're constantly, as you say, building those relationships with people. You're top of mind, because then you're going to get sales when you're away, rather than have this big block of time where nothing's happening.
Mm.
You come back. We always say, and Nat and I have always said, it takes double the amount of time that you've taken
Oh,
away from your business to actually build, to get back to the same momentum that you had just before you leave. So
yeah.
unless you've had things in place where it's constantly ticking over in the background.
Well, I now literally feel like I have not lost any momentum being away for 5 weeks, which really, if our calculations are right, it should take us 10 weeks to get back into real, true momentum. But I feel like that, I'm really like just jump straight in, and it's all happened. And second, another thing that we did do while we were away, we continued promoting our upcoming events in July through our Facebook advertising. So we have a particular person that manages that. All I had to do is give him the green light to get them running. Our list was grown by 600 people during the whole period of June. And from those people, we had inquiries into our retreat. So that fourth person that came on board last night was actually from a Facebook ad. I actually spoke to her for the very first time. I haven't got a established relationship with her. And I said, "Where did you hear?" First thing before I started, "Where did you hear about us from?" And she said, "From Facebook ads." And I said, "Okay, that's really good to know." And they're the types of I guess conversations when you end up having. I like the little bonuses, because a lot of the stuff that we end up doing and the clients that become our clients are people that have known us for a period of time. So I'm sorry if you were expecting that for there to be some magic recipe for how can I do it. There's no shortcuts. You have to put in the time, you have to put in the effort, and you have to want to know the people who are around you and be willing to help them out. And it's going to come back to you in another shape or form or from another way, it's the law of reciprocity, as they say. Ray said, thanks, that was very helpful. I think that was referring to the
Yeah, it
mastermind.
was. Yeah, saw that come up before.
Mastermind comment. So, with Stuart was very good at. He does set up quite a few things and automate some stuff in terms of our communication with our emails while we're away. That's one of the things that we do set up. So we're not the type of people who will completely, I guess, if you like, switch off everything. But we generally will spend that half an hour every second day.
Yeah, and people were saying, contacting us, saying, "You need to have a break. Why aren't you doing this? You're still working." You got to take the belief is you're not at a job. You're not just something that you can just step away from for your 4 weeks a year and not worry about everything that you're doing. In saying that, I used that wrong term. We don't worry about what we were doing if we enjoy what we're doing, and that's what we want everybody. And that's how we help people build their own businesses. That they're really doing something that they're enjoying themselves. And then it's not. It's just you want to stay in touch with your people, and if you attract the right people around you, over the last 2-3 years, it's changed so much. The people that we have around us now, inquiring or wanting advice or wanting our expertise with so many things, they're just wonderful, great people. So it's not an imposition while
Yeah.
you're away to answer an email or to give advice.
And there's so many hours in the day when you're on holidays that, often at the beach I'd sit and muck around on Facebook. And to me, that's part of, being on holidays
It
and
is.
just be able to just do whatever and not have any structure around.
Tara's just had a question: what CRM system do you use? We use Office Sandpepper, which is a baby version of Office Autopilot. We've had that for the past probably 4 years, I'd
Four and a
say.
half.
And we started off with that. It was relatively inexpensive at the time. We certainly will be moving on to something a little bit more advanced over the next 6 months.
Yeah, if not sooner, we'll be moving across to Infusionsoft, which is actually something that we would only recommend to businesses that are making over 6 figures, or perhaps they have a database bigger than 2,500 people. So Office Autopilot, Sandpepper, so sandpepper.com is about $30 a month.
For under 2,000.
2,500 members. Now that we've hit well over that, we're paying about $80 or $90, which means it's better for us to even move across to Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft will be about $200 odd, if not more, a month. Plus with a setup fee of a couple of $1,000. So it's not really something you would invest in.
No, if you're new in business, you want to be using your Constant Contact or you're wanting to be using your MailChimp. There are some free platforms out there, which are certainly great to start with and are better at nothing. And at least you can group your connections into certain tags so that you know where they come from. The more advanced, obviously, and the more expensive the systems, the more tricks and tips that they can do as well.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so we're getting close to 9:30. So let us tell you guys how you can catch up with us live or with each other live. Over here in the events tab, you're welcome, Tara. In the events tab, we have got posted the Sydney and the Melbourne UBS live networking events. So Melbourne is July the 16th. So I'll just pop over on that one. And we have got the UBS live event link here, which is where you can go to actually register for that. And we've got Rachel Sheldrick from Newcastle coming to enlighten us. Rachel has had a lot of success in her first 12 months of business. She's the workshop whisperer and the game changer, and she started off niching, into the auto industry, is it? Or, and automotive industry, which is very interesting story, and she's got a lot to share. She's invested in herself a lot in this past 12 months. We helped her write a book called Turbocharged, so she's one that I can't wait to hear speak. and she's also a professional speaker. So Sydney launch, we don't have the date there, but it's the 18th of July. I'll be over in Sydney to do my half-day authoring workshop that I normally run around the country on that same day earlier in the day. So if you want to do 2 events in one day, make a whole day out of it, come and contact me for details for the workshop earlier in the day, and you can come as a bonus for free to the July 18th Sydney launch, where myself, Samantha Chambers, and Robert Curry, who wrote "Feed a Starving Crowd," will be speaking that night, and there's a link there to go. So all of these types of events, you guys, you can find in the events tab of the UBS group. And also for those of you, sorry, I didn't mention Adelaide. Linda had not posted the event, but Adelaide's also happening on the 16th of July. And if you want more details about Adelaide, just send me an inbox message or Stuart, and I'll get Linda to give you the details again. I think she posted them up the other day. I just haven't, I don't know them off the top of my head. And lastly, for those of you who are also in Melbourne, that half-day event that we're hosting at our publishing studio in Montmorency, that's happening Wednesday, 8th of July. So that's next Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. Also, if you want details on that, inbox us. So there's 3 events. There's 3 UBS events. Melbourne and Adelaide are on the 16th of July. Sydney's on the 18th, as well as our authoring half-day events, which you can catch up with us live. It's on the 18th in Sydney and on the 8th in Melbourne. All right, so that's covering off all of the events. So we will be here every single Monday. If you found this to be valuable, let us know on the post. Have a great week ahead. Take some action. Maybe if you had one insight, what are you going to do this week to make sure that you move your business forward from an insight that was shared on the call? You're welcome, Jane.
And moving forward, even if you want to use this as a little bit of a accountability, so
Yeah.
there's going to be times we're not going to need to go through the start as long as we did. So if there's something that you want to ask us how you can do something or what you might want to be doing for the week, let us know, and then you can come and report back the next week. So if you don't have that accountability within your business or your structure, your system structure at the moment, feel free to use us for that, and we can kick your butt if you don't do it.
Totally. And James just said, thanks for the webinar, Nat and Stu. What a great way to start the week. I'll see you at the Sydney UBS. Excellent. Thanks for bringing them up there for sure. Thanks for giving us your time, Nat and Stu, from Tara. And great idea about accountability from Jane. You're more than welcome. We will enjoy connecting with you guys. This was especially having us both. You never know. You might get us both from time to time. We'll let you know. But this particular link that you were registered through will keep you registered for every single week. So, and you will get a reminder every week. So, looking forward to connecting. Hope you had a nice coffee at your end. I think we were talking too much. Couldn't drink ours.
Yep.
All right. Talk soon.
See you guys.